another one.
Dev to QA successfully? How can I make my profile attractive enough to get a job in manual or automated testing? I know Java and JavaScript. I have made tests in JUnit, Cypress, and Jest, but I want to step aside coding for a while, so getting into manual or automated testing would be ideal. I don't have any certification though, so I just keep getting rejected by companies. What do you advise? So I'll tell you this for sure, right? You are not getting rejected because of your certifications unless you're trying to apply to some company that is not a tech company and they don't really know anything about QA. But if you follow along on our software exploration shows, right, where we are looking for QA jobs, how many of those QA jobs have actually asked for a certification, which we all know the certification would be ISTQB, right? Because what other QA certification is there, right? So that being said, I don't think you're getting rejected because of your. I don't think you're getting rejected because you're not having any certifications. You're probably you're probably being rejected because you don't know anything about QA, right? Um, there is there's many different steps in the QA process and stuff like that, how to test and so being a dev, I can see why you would be familiar with JUnit, Cypress, and Jest, but that doesn't really that just pretty much means that you know how to write unit tests, right? But that doesn't even mean like you know how to write good unit tests for the most part, right? Um, so what I would say, to make your profile attractive is to learn QA, right? And just to let you know, if you are a dev and you're trying to transition into QA, especially into manual, right? You are most likely going to take a pay cut, right? Just being truthfully honest with you about that, right? So I would say, um, learn like you're gonna have to. I would say, of course, go for the automated route, right? Go for automated, but you still need to know everything about comprehensive QA, which the way I like to call it, right? Comprehensive QA. So you need to know about all the different types of testing: black box testing, white box testing, gray box testing, unit testing, which you should know as a developer. You need to know about exploratory testing, regression testing, retesting, all of those, right? You need to get familiar with that. You need to get familiar with writing test cases, right? You need to get familiar with writing defects, with executing. I would suggest that you would take a look at the QA portfolio, right? And then you need to get familiar with writing automated tests, right? I have like countless amount of videos where I'm writing automated tests using the page object model, doing data providers, whatever the case may be. But you got to get familiar with that, right? Get familiar with TestNG, being that you know Java. Get familiar with Selenium. Get familiar with Python. Get familiar with Playwright. Get familiar with Cypress. Well, you mentioned Cypress, right? But get familiar with it from more of an end-to-end testing point of view, right? So many things like you have. There's a lot of work to do, right? I just mentioned earlier the chaos camp challenges, right? Think through those on how you would test that, right? And I would say submit a PR. Write your test, submit a PR. Let us do live code review, right? I'm sure Don will come up and we could do a code review on PRs that are submitted to Chaos Camp, give feedback, what's missing, what's right, how we would have approached it, right? Oh, we something we didn't think about, right? So I would say definitely do that. Like you need to get the knowledge and the information of how to do all of those things, right? And then also how to automate those things that you're learning how to do, because manual is only going to take you so far, right? So, um, can you transition from dev to QA successfully? Of course, definitely. Like you're in the right spot, but you need to have the quality mindset, right? You're not just going to, because I'm a dev, that means I can do testing. Absolutely not. Because devs see things from one point of view and QA sees things from another point of view. And that's the synergy that they have together. And that's why they are able to create amazing software. Because if everybody thought saw it from the same perspective, then we would have problems because things would not be working the way that, like, we wouldn't have, it wouldn't be that yin to the yang, right? So we make each other better. And I think that if you're going to come from a dev, then you're going to need to have a changed mindset on that, you know? So that is my perspective. I think it's entirely possible. You just need to take the right courses. Like I mentioned earlier, testing in agile, you need to take how to be a software tester, how to be a QA engineer, whatever you want to call it. And then you also have to take a course on how to properly automate as a QA engineer. You have the foundation in writing code, so you should be fine with that. But you need to learn how to properly do it from a QA perspective and not from a developer perspective. All right. So hopefully that helps.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.